Good afternoon. Happy Friday to you. Hope you are well on this Friday. I know the sun is shining and things are good today. So I am definitely happy to be here with you. All right, let's get started. Hello, if this is your first time here, it's your girl Esha, and goodness, it's Friday. Hey! Drop me an emoji. Let me know how you are doing today on this Friday. How's everything going? How has your week been? Drop me an emoji. Let me know what's going on. So what are we talking about today? And usually I'm clicking around. You guys know at the beginning of every Friday Facebook Live, I'm clicking around trying to find something that I need to find. Okay, I think I'm good now. Okay, so today, of course, we made it to the end of another week. Let me formally introduce myself. Properly, at least anyway. It's your girl Esha here, Carnivalista in Chief of Events by Ashe, where we plan and curate unique and life-changing Caribbean experiences. I'm also an international best-selling author, speaker, and love mentor to women. So I have been event planning for a long time, at least over 20 years. And I thought about today, what I was going to do throughout the month of October, and came across this really neat concept from Alina Alive, who's one of the Black YouTubers that I follow. And she started doing this monthly series where she does a video that plans her upcoming month and reflects on the month before. And I thought that was really cool. So I thought for the first time, I'm going to try a plan with me video, and it happened to coincide with the Friday Facebook Live because I do this monthly planning process at the end of every single month. So this video is going to be all about, first of all, the timing, when I do planning throughout the year, the tools that I use, and then finally I'm going to take you through a little bit of the monthly planning process that I do. But before I get into all of that, I want to wish our team member Grace, and I'm going to see if I can tag her in the comments here, a happy birthday. I might not be able to, guys. Yeah, it's not going to work. A happy birthday to Grace because today is her birthday, and she has been a team member with us for quite some time. So definitely happy birthday to you, sweetie. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day filled with love, laughter, and increased blessings to you. All right, so just wanted to say that first of all, happy birthday to Grace before I get into the rest of today's video. So there's somebody at the door, of course. 1 second while I get that. Yes, just 1 second, right? This is for you. Okay, thanks. Tarik. I'm coming. Apologies for that. That was an appointment that was not to show up until 1 o'clock, and they came, which is okay. But I'm kind of in the middle of a live video, so it's probably not the most convenient time for that to happen. All right, let's get back to the video. And I see some comments, Sabria. Yes, the real life parts. Oh my goodness. And hey, Neferteria. Hey, Sabria. Thank you guys for joining. I am back. All right. So let's get started here into the planning. Obviously, that was unplanned, right? But let's get into the planning. So as I said, you know, I'm going to be going through process and getting into tools and all kinds of really great stuff. However, the first thing that I really want to start off with is in regards to the year 2020, the year. It has been a challenging year for all of us, and you know, a time of transition, you know, all kinds of interesting energies have been happening this year. However, I want to encourage you to think that the year is not a complete bust, okay? You know, and this came up for me as I was looking at different social media posts and you know, some negative, some positive, and of course any comment is negative or positive depending on the meaning that you assign to it. But I thought this was a good place to start because I wanted to pose a few questions before getting into the actual planning stuff. Because you can get into the doing of the planning, but if your mindset is not there, then it's going to be a different story, right? So the first question is, if you could finish the year strong, what would that really feel like for you? The second question is, what if you stopped telling yourself this year was the worst year ever and said the opposite to yourself? And number three, what if you stopped saying that, oh my gosh, I'm so disorganized, I'm so disorganized, I'm so disorganized, and actually took steps and thought of yourself as being more organized? I'm a very, very strong believer that your thoughts and your words are your reality. So when you're saying, oh my gosh, this year is worse, or, you know, I'm so disorganized, or, you know, this year was such a bust, you know, my business, life, job, everything has just been crazy. What if you change those words and thoughts that you are feeding to yourself and chose another thought differently about it, felt differently about it? What if you could change that? And you can, because the thoughts and words that we constantly stream to ourselves are a choice. It's not, people aren't putting those words and thoughts in our heads, right? It's us, so we can choose. So what if as soon as you get a negative thought like that about 2020 and how horrible the year has been, what if you change that immediately? I was like, you know what? This year was not so bad and it's getting better. You know, what if you could change that? Instead of saying, I'm so disorganized, think, you know what? I am actually really organized and I'm getting better. You know, try that for a little while and let that really sit, because as I said, I'm a firm believer that the thoughts, words that we use are really all of our reality. So let's get ready to change that narrative. I really encourage you to do that first of all. And if you are ready to do that and change the narrative, leave me a comment and say yes. All right, so let's get into the timing. And by timing from a planning perspective, generally, and I didn't get into doing this probably until about 4 or 5 years ago. I think I always had a general idea of my goals. There were some things I would kind of write down, but I didn't have a system to continuously plan and move toward, and more in terms of my business goals. I think personal goals, I always had some kind of mechanism to keep on track of personal goals, but business goals, probably I would say 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 years ago is when I really started getting more systematic with it. So as far as timing goes, you know, planning is a continuous process, and that's what has worked and been most successful for me from a personal perspective and a business perspective. It's not a one and done. So you don't pull out that journal, planner, or whatever it is, you know, your phone, your notes in your phone or whatever at the beginning of the year and just put it away. It's not a one and done. It's something that works best when there's a continuous attention to it, because how does the saying go? Attention goes, no, energy flows where attention goes. At least I think that's how the saying goes. But basically the concept is whatever you put your attention on, whatever you spend time on and keep plugging continuous and positive energy into will keep growing, right? So all of the time periods that I'm going to mention here, they all dovetail and work with each other. So annually, at the beginning of every calendar year, I'll do an annual reflection of the previous year. I will also, do a overall big goal picture for the year. I'll also choose a word of the year, so what is my word going to be for the year? And it depends on how how I feel really at the beginning of the year. Is it abundance? Is it expansion? Is it maybe paying more attention? Maybe it's multiple words, but I do that at the beginning of every year. And for you, even if you're getting started in the formal planning process in, November pretty much is on Sunday, or whenever you're watching this video after the fact, I want to encourage you to start with a larger scale. So even if you're starting, let's say November to November next year, that's perfectly fine. Just plan it larger and then break it down to smaller. All right. So starting with the annually, as I said, what I do, then biannually. So at the middle of the year, I do a checkpoint. Okay, so how are we doing against our goals? What projects were launched? How did they go? Were they good? Were they not so good? What can we do differently for next time? So it's a continual loop, if you want to think about it that way. Every checkpoint in the process, every timing in the process that you go is a loop. It's not a one and done. It's a loop. So biannually, I will have my checkpoint at the middle of the year. Monthly, I do a big monthly reflection and go into the game changer, and I'll get into that when I get to the passion planner. I decide what my monthly game changer is going to be, and that's like a larger, not an overarching annual goal, but like a monthly goal. Maybe it's a project that I want to launch or something that I want to implement to get to another goal. Maybe it ties into my sales goal, or it ties into a marketing goal, or it ties into a social media goal. But these are smaller chunks. Those are called game changers by Passion Planner. Then we get into weekly. So once the game changer is fleshed out, maybe there's 5 or 6 smaller tasks that need to be done. Those get plugged into weekly tasks. And and maybe it's a weekly project that has 3 smaller subtasks under it, but then we get into the weekly. And then daily, I have my daily to-dos, and also daily focuses. So on certain days of the week, I have daily focuses. So Monday, for example, is my marketing tactic day. And that's good to do for me in my process at the beginning of the week, because then I can see, okay, look at the tactics from last week. What was implemented? How did things go on social media? Looking at that. And then looking forward to the week, what other tactics, either ones that are not implemented yet, this is the day that I work on that, or ones that I want to implement, and I will work on that on Mondays, for example. Tuesdays are my financial days. So those are the days where I look at sales. What are the numbers looking like? What else do we need to do from a marketing, social media perspective to really push things forward? Looking at financial statements, looking at expenses, what's going on from an expenses standpoint. So I have days throughout the week that are daily focused, and that are I have daily to-dos that I do where that is concerned. And using this timing, it helps me to keep focused, because as I said, it's a loop, right? It continuously has me looking back and looking forward, looking back and looking forward. And notice how I say looking, right? Not focusing back and saying, oh, you didn't do this good. That's not what it's about. It's about taking what happened and looking forward and using that new information to move forward. So it's not dwelling, it's looking, assessing, noticing, as opposed to dwelling and getting down on myself. So using this process, it really helps me to be able to move things around easily as needed, as long as they will achieve my larger goals, because I have that big annual goal already. So when new projects come up or new thoughts, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have new thoughts and new projects that come to me all the time, right? That's my mind. That's a creative mind. If it's something that will not get me to where I need to go, or if it's something that will displace me from working on a larger project that will get me where I want to be at the end of the year, then I put that project on the back burner. You know, like there are many areas in my written journal or planner that I can put an ongoing list of projects that I want to do at some point in time. So that's the timing. And guys, I forgot to say this at the beginning, but if you have any questions, you know, definitely feel free to let me know. So let's see what the comments are here. Oh, Sabria Hearts. Oh, thank you, sweetie. That door, yeah, that was hilarious. Sister Sarah, hi, honey. Hope you're having a good day. Nefertari, I blinked and you were gone, and I was like, what happened? I know. I was as surprised as you. As I said, I didn't expect them at least for another half an hour at that point. So yes, and yeah, it is what it is. Nefertari is saying hello to Sarah. And funny story, Sarah's my sister who's located in Toronto, Canada. Nefertari is a good friend and entrepreneur colleague of mine who actually lives down the street. So Sarah in Toronto introduced me to Nefertari, who lives down the street. So they are friends, and we are all friends, and we are all entrepreneurs. So hilarious. All right, so Nefertari says, let's do it. Awesome. Let's keep going. Grace, I've survived 2020 and I'm going to have a ball in Barbados crop over and Trinidad Carnival 2022. I know that's right. And I see everything in the future and form my words that way. Yes, Grace. I know you and I are aligned where that is concerned. You know, speak things into existence and speak things into what you want. So yes, and happy birthday again to you, sweetie. Much, much continued blessings to you. And Sarah is saying, you got this, Grace. Yes, and Sarah, you got it too. Nefertari, Sabria, you guys watching. Anybody else watching, you guys got this, okay? We got this, all right? So let's get into our tools. So I wanted to start with mindset, break it down into timing, and then get into tools, because I feel that, especially as entrepreneurs, and I'm going to speak for myself, and I don't know if anybody else feels like this watching this, we get hung up on the tools, right? However, if your mindset and you're not doing it consistently or not aligned, it doesn't matter what tool you use, really, and that's been my experience. So don't get hung up on the tools. I am going to go into some tools that I use and what works for me. However, use what works for you. I definitely want to encourage you. So in terms of tools, for me is oldting versus newting. All right, so let me explain. So oldting is analog, old school, handwriting. So this is my 2020 Passion Planner. I have been using Passion Planners for, I think I have 5 or 6 old ones in my filing cabinet. So I've been using this as an oldting tool for quite some time. I love Passion Planner. Just to tell you what I really, really like about it. And before I do that, let me include the link to download the Passion Planner for free, because I actually tried this tool for free before deciding that it was the one for me. You know what I mean? Because you may buy something and then you're like, oh, this, I don't like this. It's not working for me, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I tried it for free for a long time, probably almost a year, before I decided, you know what, I'm going to invest in this, and I really like it. They're not super expensive, between $30 and $40, depending on, and actually even cheaper than that, depending on the size. I like the full, this is the medium actually, not the full size. They can get bigger than this, and they can get smaller than this, depending on what works for you. But this is the medium size. I like it, and it works for me. I did put the link to the Passion Planner for you to download it. They have dated versions and undated versions that you can download, and you know, get it printed at a UPS or Staples or whatever, Office Depot, whatever they're called these days, or print it at home. If you have a home printer, use that. So what do I like about this old thing in particular? I like that there are separate spaces to write for your personal life and for your work life. I especially like that division because previous planners, I find they had a lot of space for work but didn't really leave spaces for you to have personal goals and personal tasks to do on a daily basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever the case may be. So I like that. I also love the timing in the reflection. So there is a monthly reflection, and I'll go into that in the monthly process part. There's a monthly reflection that you do every single month, and then there's an annual at the end of the year. So I really, really like that because, again, it's about looking back and looking forward. Looking back, bringing it forward, looking forward. So I really, really like that about the Passion Planner. I like that it's a balance of structure because I'm a very structured person. That's just the way my brain works. Heck, I've done event planning for over 20 years, so I'm a very structured person. But for someone who's more artistic, it also leaves space for journaling and for dreaming and for, free forming if that's your thing, while giving you a little bit more structure, So I like that balance, actually. I didn't think that I would, and I think I struggled with it the first couple of years that I used Passion Planner because there would just be all this space to write, and I'd be like, why do you need so much space? Why don't you just put, make the calendar a little bit bigger? But I've actually come to appreciate that because there's something about putting pen to paper, which is why Oldting still works in a part of my life. There's something about putting pen to paper and writing down your dreams and your goals and your tasks. It does something with your brain. It makes you remember better. It helps things come into fruition faster, and there's lots of research that backs this up. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a scientist, right? I just know it works for me. So those are the things that I like about Passion Planner. And again, it doesn't have to be a Passion Planner, and I am not getting paid for this, okay? I'm just saying whatever works for me. It can be any kind of journal that you like, if you wanted to hold on to some old thing, right? But new thing for me are all of the online tools. So to organize my meetings, I use Google Calendar. And it's just easier to schedule with others instead of writing it down all the time and crossing it out if it needs to get rescheduled. But I do write my meetings in every single day. So every single day, in the wee hours of the morning, I'm an early bird, I write down exactly what I'm going to do. So I fill in all of my scheduled meetings, and then I work my things that I need to work on that day around that in, either 1 hour or 2 hour or even longer increments, depending on the project that has to get done that day. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. Now, as far as those are meetings, and another tool that I use is VCita, and that's if I have, that's for people who I want to get on my calendar just to give them an easy way instead of going back and forth over email. I use VCita for that. There's Calendly, there's so many tools that does that now. VCita just works for me, and it also works for any client deliverables that we need to do online. We do that via VCita because it has the option for a client portal, and we just send everybody through there, upload whatever documents they can access, and we can segment it, and way easier than trying to do it through WordPress. So VCita works for me. So that's for meetings. And if I wanted to do group meetings or group events, I can do that through VCita as well. So where larger strategies are concerned, I use Evernote and I use Google Sheets. And this helps for me because I have a team. So Google Sheets and Evernote is really good for me from a team collaboration standpoint. I use Google Sheets a lot. Of course, I'm a planner, so what else would we use? Spreadsheets. So I use that for example, my marketing strategy. I was able to add a marketing person to my team this year, which was so awesome. So we use Google Sheets a lot over marketing strategies. We're putting together a dashboard for marketing and for sales and a few other things, but use Google Sheets for a lot of that. I use Google Sheets for social media posts because I have a team that works on that. So there is a complete marketing and delivery schedule that's in Google Sheets that has social media. It has a month-by-month breakdown of what blog posts I do, what social media posts are going to be done, what Facebook posts need to happen, what email marketing needs to happen, any website delivery that needs to happen, and what are the larger projects that are focused on in any given month. So that's all in Google Sheets. So that is the new thing that I use. And let me just check for some comments here before I get into the monthly process. All right, let's see here. Ah, Grace, thank you for elaborating on this. When you write things out, you make an unconscious commitment to get it done. I love that. You are putting it out into the universe, and whenever you do that, the universe lines things up so your goals and aspirations come to fruition. See, this is why you're my friend. That just says it in a paragraph. I love that. Thank you for elaborating, my friend. Love it, love it, love it. So yes, when you write things down, again, there's something about pen to paper. It makes that unconscious commitment, as Grace said in the comments there. So yes, that perfect. I love that. I can't even elaborate on that. So yes, I'm just going to keep moving. So thank you for that, Grace. I hope that's helping all of you. I hope these tips are helping all of you in the chat. If they are helpful, please type yes. Let me know that you're absorbing. If you have any questions, definitely let me know as well. And I probably have another 10 minutes because I have another piece down here to go through. So monthly process. This is where everything that I talked about in the 3 pieces, mindset, timing, oldting and newting, this is where everything kind of comes together, is in the monthly process. So again, back to oldting, Passion Planner actually walks you through this, the monthly process. As I said, monthly reflection at the end of every month and at the end of every year. And I hope you guys can see this. I haven't done my monthly reflection yet. I haven't written it down yet, at least anyway. But yeah, that's what it looks like. That's the monthly reflection. You do it at the end of the year as well. And why I like the monthly reflection so much is because it makes me slow down. Being an entrepreneur, at least these days, is a really speedy process. You got to respond to stuff, put fires out, implement this, do that, push, that I really relish at the end of every month, or sometimes it's into the beginning of the new month. Sometimes I can't fit it in at the end of the month, so I'll be honest about that. But it still, gives me the opportunity to slow down. And in the monthly reflection and in the annual reflection, there are specific questions that you get prompted to answer, and I'll go through a few. And feel free to add your comments as an answer to the questions as I go along. So monthly reflection question number 1, and I will also put it in the chat. What was the most memorable part of this past month? Please describe it. So that's the first question. So for me, I actually have 2 memorable moments this month. One is personal and one is professional. So the first personal one was actually having a lovely outdoor lunch with my brother, Calvin, who came to visit me and our family in September. And October the 1st, we actually got together and had a lovely outdoor lunch. We got takeout and we sat in a park and just talked. I really relish those moments when I can just connect with others, and especially my family and loved ones, in that unhurried, unrushed kind of format, especially in nature, outdoors. So that was really, really lovely. So I really enjoyed that. And then the second one is professional, and that was actually a speaking engagement that I did last week at the Live and Let Go Virtual Summit 2020, which was held by Felice Pope Thompson, I think that's her last name. I know I butchered that, but it's okay. But the speaking engagement was fantastic. I was tapped as one of 14 speakers for that event, and it was all about these fantastic women sharing their own personal traumatic or challenging experiences and how they were able to overcome them. Fantastic stories. I mean, just so inspiring. Just being in that energetic space with those other women was great. And all of the attendees, they were so supportive. I did share a very, very personal story and circumstance of my own, and they were all so supportive. And there were so many aha moments, and women were like, yes, I went through this, thank you for sharing your story, it makes me feel I'm not so alone. And it was just uplifting, inspiring, touching, and I was just so full of gratitude to be in that space. So that was definitely a memorable part of my month from a professional perspective. All right, so let's get into monthly reflection question number 2. Can I talk? Uh-oh, and I think, okay, hopefully I got the right text here. And again, as I said, feel free, no, that wasn't it. That was number 1. Oh no, did I lose monthly reflection number 2? I pressed the wrong thing. Oh, I pasted it. I did do that. Okay. So monthly reflection, I'm just going to say it. Reflection question number 2 is review your planner for the past month and assess your priorities. Are you happy with how you spent your time? And if not, what steps can you take next month to adjust them? So I'm not going to type the whole question. Are you happy with how you spent your time? Okay, I'll just type that. So that's the second question that I'm going to go through. There are in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 monthly reflection questions, but I'm not going to go through all of them. So are you happy with how you spent your time? So for me, October, I was definitely happy with how I spent my time. Again, you know, as I said, from a personal perspective, my brother did come to visit, so it was nice spending some time with him. We had the opportunity to do a couple of social distancing things with some friends, so that was lovely. So I'm really mostly happy with how I spent my time. I upped my exercise this month, yes, and I have done meditation every single day this month, and that does not happen. So October, from that perspective alone, was great because I feel really good about both of those things. The one thing that I'm not happy that did not get done this month was actually getting a course off the ground. It hasn't launched yet. I'm still developing it. It's the Carnivalista in Love course, which is for those of you women who are single and you want to find romantic love and bring it into your life. That's what the course is going to be about. It's still in development, TBD. So that's the one thing that I am not happy has not gotten launched this month. However, I am definitely going to get it back on track over the next couple of weeks. It's close, but I'm still tweaking and, you know, working on the language specifically. So it will get done. It will get done. So more to come about that. Now the next monthly reflection question is, and this time I'm not gonna hit the wrong key, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel overall about this past month? So I have my answer here, but my rating is 9 because I feel it was a really good month overall from a personal and a business perspective. So yay, very excited about that. So that's about the monthly reflection, and let me just check for any thoughts, comments. Oh, Grace says very helpful. Good, yay. And Sarah, it's great to hear what the planner in my family uses. I know, right? I should have done this a long time ago. I am in total agreement with that, and it feels really good for me to share some of my tips and things that I do from my end as well. So I'm really excited to be doing this video. So all right, so once you are done with the monthly reflection questions, and we're still in the monthly process piece, and I have about another 5 minutes, you go through the next steps. So you highlight your accomplishments. So what I love about the Passion Planner, it's all about rah, yes, what did you do? That was good, you know, highlight it, celebrate it, and it helps you to reflect on it as well. So I really like that. So you highlight your accomplishments, as I said. Part of the annual planning process is going through that entire roadmap, like what you want to accomplish in a year or 6 months or whatever. You go through that process in the Passion Planner. So you actually go back to that roadmap and you do it twice throughout the year. There's one at the beginning of the year and one in the middle of the year biannually. So you go back to that roadmap, highlight what you did review it again. So you're refreshing your brain, you know, every 6 months. And really on a monthly basis, I go back and look at my big roadmap to make sure I'm on track as part of the monthly reflection. So that is that next step. Then you reform. So you choose what your monthly game changer is going to be, and then brainstorm it in the next month space to break it down. And I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. And then you set checkpoints. So once you have your monthly game changer and you've broken it down into maybe 5 or 6 smaller things that need to happen to make that entire game changer go and be great, you move those into your weekly tasks lists, okay? Just to make sure that they're on your radar. I mean, how many times have you gotten to the end of the month and been like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do X? So this way, it's easy to stay on track because you have your game changer. Your game changer breaks down into those smaller tasks, and you move all of those little tasks into your weekly checkpoints or your weekly planning areas, okay? So that definitely, I really love those last 3 steps, those last parts of the monthly reflection, because it makes you go back to your earlier goals. As I said, it's a loop, and then you moving it into the future. The continuous reflection takes place. So I really, 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 really like that part. All right, so once all of the monthly reflection is done, you go into the next month. So this is the November page and what it looks like. Let me make sure that you guys can see this. Let's see here. Yes, there we go. You can see. All right. So this is the November page. You have your monthly focus. As I said, I really love the personal and the work. People to see, places to go, things to learn. And then it has a whole monthly layout. I like to use this to write birthdays, monthly birthdays. And of course, we're in November, so my birthday is coming. It's my birthday month, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I like to write birthdays here that are coming up and then move those into my weekly and daily so I don't forget anybody's birthday. And then personal projects and work projects. Again, oops, let me move that up a little bit and hopefully you can see that. Yes, okay, good. So then there are space for your personal projects and space for your work projects. And then over on this page, you have your mind map. And this is where you put the game changer and kind of break that down. And I have 2 things here that I need to get to this month. So I wrote that in advance. I probably wrote it there 2 months ago. Because again, new projects will not stop coming to you. It's just that you need a place to collect it and revisit it, okay? So this is where you will break down whatever that game changer is for you this month. This is where you're gonna map that out. So what I'll usually do is write whatever the game changer is in the center here and use some, Nefertaria, yes, sweetie, yes. I'll put the game changer here and then I will put lines to break them down into smaller to-dos so it's more manageable. And then I'll take those smaller to-dos, list them back over here, and then assign timelines and deadlines to them. Okay, so that's, again, it doesn't have to be Passion Planner, right? I just really like how they have laid those things out. Okay, yes, Nefertaria, you are on my list of people to see. So yes, that is the monthly planning process, guys. So again, I do this at the end of every single month, or again, sometimes it goes into the beginning. Maybe it's November 2nd or 3rd, but I do get it done because it helps me to stay on track. And I'm not just kind of randomly thinking of things that have to get done every day, throughout the week, throughout the month. In fact, I find the months that I don't actually take the time to do this process, they are all over the place. Those are the months when I get to the end of the month and I'm like, what did I do? Because I didn't take the time to, or I didn't allow myself to take the time to go through this process in the Passion Planner. So that's my monthly planning process, guys. I can't believe we actually got through this. I'm so excited. Again, if you have any questions, please, let me scroll back and see if there are any questions. I hope this was helpful for you. I don't see any questions. Okay. I hope this was helpful for you all. And if you're catching this after the live replay on Facebook and you have questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comments. And if you are watching this on YouTube, because yes, YouTube family, you guys are a part of this as well, please like this video, share it with someone who you think could use it, and subscribe to our video channel for more videos like this. We upload at least 1 or 2 new videos every single week with content about travel, about food, and about getting your personal life together in general, okay? So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, definitely like our Facebook page as well. And guys, that's all I had to talk about today. Let me see if I can get some music to jam us out. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good, safe, and wonderful weekend. And as always, till the next line.